this COVID stuff that's going on, kind of like just fed up, literally up to here with all of it. If you do, and you're not alone. All of us are. Whether people take COVID seriously or not, everyone's tired and fed up with it. It has become it really is a pandemic in every sense of the word. And I want to talk today in our Crucifixional live stream about the fear-mongering that's going with it. We talked about it yesterday, but today we're going to take it a little bit further, because as warrior saints, we've got to start to look and think differently. Do you understand? That's the key. Mark my words. If you are really in the camp that COVID is so dangerous, or you are in the camp that COVID is not that big of a deal and there's a 99 whatever % recovery rate, I don't care. What I'm about to say applies to all of us. Here's the problem. In our world, everything has become dichotomous. Do you understand what I mean? Everything is cut in two. I was watching a great TV show on Netflix a few months ago. It's called Britannia. It's not really that great of a show, but it was fun and interesting, and it dealt with the time of the Roman conquest in Britannia, in England, about 140 AD. And in this show, there were a bunch of Druids, Saxons, all these warring tribes in the area that the Romans were coming into, and they were all fighting until the Romans came. And then they united. They had their, mystical powwow where they decided to come together. They painted their face, and then they went and attacked the Romans, forgive me. They united because they had a common enemy. Today, we don't have a common enemy. We have a split in the middle. And when there are a split in the middle and there's only two sides, who is the enemy? The other guy. Now, you think I'm wrong. I don't know. Talk about Democrat, Republican, black and white, gay and straight, male and female. Oh, Trump and Biden. Oh, COVID and masks and no masks. Oh, you want me to keep going? Vaccine and no vaccine? I could keep going. There's no unification of the tribes against a common enemy. They do that. The 9 does that because they keep you dumb, they keep you stupid, and they keep you silent. Do you understand? And controllable. What I want us to look at today is, in spite of this mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, COVID's good, COVID's bad type of thing, I want us as warrior saints to start thinking differently. And it begins for us to examine a text from St. Paul's epistle to the Hebrews. Now, this is a very complicated, some say liturgical text. I find it's beautiful, rich in what it's talking about. There is at the end of, all of chapter 11 is talking about faith in God. But as we get to the end of 11 and rolling into chapter 12, we hear about some Old Testament heroes, some Old Testament saints who really had to struggle and fight and grind to get through their challenges. He begins where we're going to begin today, I should say, in chapter 11, verse 29. By faith, the people, meaning the Israelites, the people of God, crossed the Red Sea as if on dry land. Like the sea parted, right? That's the story of Moses opening the sea. Like they put their faith in God and they conquered by walking through the middle of the sea it was dry land. Like, come on, man, that's insane. That just doesn't happen, right? You see the metaphor there that God parts the impossibility, controls the water so his people can go through. Rahab the harlot did not perish with those who were disobedient because she had given a friendly welcome to the spies. All the walls of Jericho fell down after being circled 7 times. And what more shall I say? For time would fail to tell me of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and the prophets. Listen to what they did. So all of these guys he's given in this list, listen to what they did. They conquered kingdoms. Enforced justice. Righteousness is really the word. Received promises. Stopped the mouths of lions. Right? They quenched raging fire. They escaped the edge of the sword. They won strength out of weakness. They became mighty in war, put foreign enemies to flight. And women received their dead by resurrection. How did they do this? By having faith and trust in God, right? So the question put before us they went through all of this chaos. We're facing COVID, right? And you say, oh my God, Father, this is the worst thing to ever happen. No, it isn't. It's just the next thing to ever happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just the next it's the next part in a long line of challenges that people will have to overcome, face and overcome, or not. Listen to the rest of these verses. Here, we're going to throw these on your screen. Hebrews 11, 35 through 37. These are the heroes that God was talking about, and they were tortured, refusing to accept release. that they might rise again to a better life. Others suffered mocking, scourging, chains, imprisonment. They were stoned, meaning people threw rocks at their heads till they died. They were sawn in two. They were killed with the sword. They went about in skins of sheep and goats, destitute, afflicted, ill-treated, right? Like the list could go on and on of all the things that they had to endure. And yet, they didn't quit and they conquered because of their faith. That's the challenge put before you and I. I don't care about COVID, this, that, or the other. I don't care vaccine, no vaccine. That's for you to figure out. You decide what you want to do and do it. But stop the garbage and stop the BS of making excuses by using COVID. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, no, it's not that bad. Regardless, it's the thing that's in our face right now. Tomorrow, I promise you, there will be another. And yesterday, there was one before it. There will always be something that we have to challenge, a challenge that we have to struggle through. The point of it is, you can't use it as an excuse and quit on doing the right thing. And you hear this beautiful continuation. Listen how Paul sets this up for us. And all these, though well attested by their faith, they did not receive what is promised, since God had foreseen something better for us, that apart from us they should not be made perfect. And now he's saying that all of those people, those Old Testament heroes who did all that good stuff, they had to wait for you and I, meaning that today we're facing our own test, which we call COVID, or whatever you may want to call your personal test. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us, listen, powerful, unbelievable, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. Boom. Right? Like, okay, Samson had to fight lions. Gideon had to fight armies. David had to fight wars, right? Like, what else do you want? You and I have to fight COVID, or whatever it is that we're facing, whether it's black and white and Democrat and Republican and male and female and gay and straight and Trump and Biden and blah, 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 right? We all have our battles to fight, but we can't become debilitated by them or you lose, right? That's the whole message. You lose. How do you fight and conquer like these Old Testament heroes did? You look to the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, Jesus Christ, right? Listen to this verse. I love it. Hebrews 12:2. Looking to Jesus, the pioneer and the perfecter of our faith. The word pioneer is kind of funny. Archigon, it's the first one, right? He blazed the path. And the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising shame, but he's seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Boom, right? Like the message that Christ faced the greatest monster, bigger than any COVID or any other dichotomy or anything that the world has ever faced. He faced death, and he endured the cross. And through that, he ended up at the right hand of God the Father, at the throne, right? Like, boom. And he's saying, we too, as we are enduring the challenges that are before us, and don't lose sight of it, today it is COVID, right? It is what it is. But you can't look at it as this big monster that's indefeatable. Undefeatable? Whatever the word might be. It is not insurmountable. This monster can be conquered. And you do so the same way that Christ conquered the great monster of death. And that is through crucifixional living. That means the sacrifice of self and of ego and of my own desires to make the world a better place, to do good for other people, to set myself aside so that I might look to other first, right? That's how all monsters are conquered, right? It's the selflessness of a crucifixional life that conquers monsters, right? And you may be saying to yourself, well, how do I do that? How do I do it? I'm going to end with this. Hebrews 12:12. Love it. Therefore, lift your drooping hands and strengthen your weak knees and make straight paths for your feet so that what is lame may not be put out of joint but rather be healed. In other words, he's saying, time to man up, son. It's time to woman up, girl. It is time what? To stop making excuses and get yourself on a crucifixional path. Get on the life. And you know what? It's hard. You may not have the ideas, the answers on how to do that, but that's why we're here. That's why we want to invite you to join us on the way of the warrior saint. Visit warriorsaints.org right now. For all of our new people out there watching, the way of the warrior saint is It's a library. That's all it is. It is a library filled with teachings, all on video, all instructional. They're fun, they're positive, they're lighthearted, but they're serious. And they're tools to teach us how we can live that crucifixional life, that life of sacrifice for self, sacrifice of self for the sake of other, for the sake of success. How do you do that? You do it Christ's way. Well, I don't know what that means. That's why we're here to teach you. That's it. That's all we got. That's the best that we have to give, and we give you the best that we've got to give, 101% of it. And it's just fabulous stuff. When you sign up for the Way of the Warrior Saint, you have full, complete, total, unadulterated access to the library. That means you can watch all of the countless, and there's a gazillion of them, lessons. Not really a gazillion. What is a gazillion? Who knows? But there's a large number of them, right? There's a large group of lessons. The content is always being updated. Every single week, new stuff comes forward, and you have access to all of it. You can watch it once or a million times. It's up to you. When you do that, you will find a problem, a challenge that we face, God's teaching, like how does God show us to get through that, and then some very practical and relevant tools that you can implement in your life immediately to start your own victory over that challenge. It's fabulous. It's great. It's a lot of fun. It grows every single day. I want to make sure we welcome Sue. Sue joined us yesterday. She's one of the new subscribers yesterday. We appreciate you a lot, Sue. Glad to have you on board with us. The best part about all of this is that, I mean, you can watch, each one of these videos is like 10 to 15 minutes. You can watch it on your lunch break. Like, so you can stay engaged in life and still have that teaching that you can implement immediately. Last, it's $8, dude. Come on, man. Like, to me, I don't even want to say it anymore. Just, you have to visit warriorsaints.org and see it. Get on the way of the warrior saint. Excuse me. Let's start living this crucifixional life, and I promise you, just as those heroes of old conquered their monsters, so will you and I conquer the monster of the day by living a crucifixional life. Great to see you. Glad to have you all with us. We will see you again tomorrow on our Crucifixional live stream. Love you, beautiful people. And until then, keep walking on the way of the warrior.